Right, good afternoon, everyone. 18th of July, another webinar. Today it's about higher time frame reversals. Maybe it's a good topic, looking at what's going on in the market. Maybe like the question would be, are we already kind of reversing on especially on the FX markets, on the dollar index? Is dollar index, did it create the higher high for now? Or are you expecting more dollar strength in the near future? And looking at the other major effects as well, what can you also see, right? So it's going to talk a little bit about maybe a few factors or a few things to pay attention to when you are trying to find those higher time frame reversals, what to consider, a few clues that we maybe can pay attention to, and what exactly is it's a higher time frame kind of reversal. Like what is the length of the reversal? Is it 1 week? Is it a month? Is it 1 quarter? Like how big of a reversal? What's the expectation when you are thinking about a higher time frame reversal? So if I would ask you guys, what kind of key factors do you guys look at that you may pay attention to when you are looking for reversals or maybe for a shift in the market? What would be a few factors that you consider?
A strong support or resistance.
Okay,
I draw a lot of support and resistance.
Okay, that's kind of
double tops, things like that.
Technical levels, is it? Just write them down. Anything else that you may consider? Technical, aside from technical levels, like aside from PI, anything else that you consider?
Fundamental news.
Yeah, maybe a shift on the fundamental news that maybe to see the difference, like to see some maybe different behavior in the market. Right?
I think on top of all that, I will also look on fib levels on daily or weekly timeframes, aligned with historical levels of the market, peaks, lows.
So higher time frame analysis, right, on the maybe daily, weekly time frame, and look for those retracements, Fibonacci retracements. Aside from, as Rocio said, maybe some support resistance levels or trend lines.
And I also think classical moving averages crossover, just for sure, on the daily.
Yeah, that's kind of as a confirmation, or to see if it retests, or.
Well, you can use it wherever you want, but now I think it's just like we just broke the 50 moving average, so it's just across. Maybe it's a confirmation.
All right. In which one did you cross? Which asset is that? Is it in the indices or?
No, the indices we didn't cross. We're still in the bear market, but we broke through the 50, which was kind of holding nicely for the past few weeks.
Well, it broke to the upside now.
Yeah, we're not touching 50% of another level. Now we need to wait for the 200, but it's pretty high. It's quite high, 200 moving average.
Yeah. So those are those are definitely a few things to consider when you are looking for that for the reversals, right? Maybe even a combination of all of them. Maybe again, what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the fundamentals, what are the big players doing, the institutionals, the central banks. So all of that we can have into consideration as well. Of course, usually the market may be a little bit in front or ahead in terms of what is actually priced in or not, based on the expectations of the market. So yeah, the fundamental part is of course important. And then yes, maybe even on the same point of or in continuation of the webinar from last week, when you're talking about top-down analysis, right? Starting from the higher time frame and looking for the lower time frame. Yes, looking at those higher time frame key levels could be something to pay attention to as well, in terms of maybe waiting for the timing to see maybe those reversals occurring. That could be a really good filter or complement to look for to time the reversal. right? Instead of just paying attention to the fundamentals, yeah, with the technicals to find out the timing. And now what? And then of course there are a few patterns that maybe we can pay attention to. That aside from maybe support levels or trend lines, maybe there could be some or double tops or double bottoms. There could be as well some other patterns that we can find out, even as an anticipation that maybe we can be close to the reversal, or then as a confirmation. For example, that that crossover of the moving average could be one of them. Or if you have a trend line and you see the trend line being broken, maybe, for example, just right now, similar to the dollar index, that you had kind of this trend line was just broken to the downside. That could be another signal of a confirmation, right? So there's those two moments, anticipation and then the confirmation, right? Anticipation could be, for example, this wedge pattern as well, right? That you have maybe retesting out these highs. Oh, not exactly like that. Cheers. Retesting out these highs, kind of price getting close to that expansion in there. Maybe that could be a sign of reversal, or for example, the traditional RSI divergence, or even to see as well if price is overbought or not in that in a higher time frame level, could be as well maybe the starting of anticipation of a possible reversal. And then the question is, and one of the questions could be until where, how long can we expect this reversal? Is it kind of a higher high? Is it like the top has been created for and price is ready to now go all the way down, or is just maybe a correction for the next couple of weeks? Until then, maybe we are going to resume the move to the where price was coming from before, like in this case on the dollar index, maybe the continuation of the dollar strength, to be looking at it, right? Like is it going to be now a proper reversal and price is going to go all the way down, or is it maybe just going to be maybe a retest now to the next, for example, this previous level of resistance, this 105 level, right? What maybe can you see, or as well the confirmation maybe from the news, what can you expect in terms of how big the reversal is going to be? Another aspect as well that usually I try to pay attention to, especially on the FX, right? On the indices could be a little bit different. On the indices, eventually, we are always expecting the indices to go up, regardless if it can be 1 or 2 years in a bearish market, but eventually we are expecting for price to continue to the upside and to resume the bullish trend. We are expecting the economy always to keep going higher, consider the next 10 years. However, on the FX, there's a little bit more of a cycle move. So like cycle can be kind of even if we have kind of a bullish market like you're having here on the dollar index, usually like every 2-3 weeks or a month, there can be some kind of correction that you can see, right? And that could be, for example, one of those reversals, maybe a cycling. Maybe it's going to be some periods that you can see those cycling starting, or then the continuation. It could be in between the moment that you may have a Fed meeting. So between the both Fed meetings, maybe you're going to see price correcting until then we have the next Fed meeting, and then price may resume as well. So another good factor to pay attention to before a higher time frame reversal, it could be as well the timing of the news, right? Of the most important data that come out. For example, could be NFP, could be CPI, could be any FOMC or ECB press conference. So around those periods as well, usually it's one of the best moments to time the reversal. For example, this week there's been basically the day after the CPI, right? Sometimes it's not exactly on the same day. Maybe give it 1 or 2 days lagging, and then you may have that turn. But most likely that could be even also already a reaction from the CPI data, and the way everyone has priced in the market and the information that came out. So those are actually good moments as well, or before the Fed, or maybe, for example, even now, maybe we're going to have this correction for maybe 2 weeks until the 27th in this case 9 days, until the 27th of July, when we have the next FOMC meeting. And maybe in that moment, maybe we're going to see again a dollar strength into the market, right? So even trading in between those high important level, the big news, it's also a good thing to do, to be aware of them. And maybe you can even use that as a target, for example, or even to wait for that. Even if you are looking for a major reversal, maybe wait for that news to come out and then try to trade it. Because maybe if you're trying to catch that move even before the news, maybe you're going to, maybe not the right timing to look for that. It depends, but it can be something like that. So that's another situation that I like to see. Another one, it will be now regarding the technicals. It will be, yes, so do that higher time frame analysis, right? Find a little bit on the topic of the previous webinar, like the questions that I usually ask for, which is, okay, where is price at the moment, right? Is price at the moment at a good level in a higher time frame that maybe shows that we may be close to the reversal, right? Are we actually respecting now an important support resistance or a high, or testing an important trend line that may see price now reversing or not, right? So that could be like answering that question could also help to time the reversal. Yes, try to find out, okay, if we are not there yet, maybe where is that zone, where like should we wait a little bit more? Another situation would be the correlation. Look for the correlation in the market. So if kind of, for example, if it's just one of the pairs, is that important higher time frame level? Maybe still not in the timing to look for that big reversal. Maybe you need to wait for the other ones to also get close to that key level before looking for the higher time frame reversal. So correlation in here can be important. Maybe not just even within the same assets. For example, if you're looking at Forex, maybe not just dollar index, euro dollar or pound dollar. Maybe you can even timing it a little bit with maybe what the indices are doing, or even the gold, what is doing it, or even oil. So you can even go and across different assets to try to find that timing. So it's a combination of a lot of a few factors that you can try to pay attention to in order to maybe start looking for that big reversal. And then of course it requires a lot of patience maybe to wait for that. And if you otherwise, maybe there's maybe going to be some FOMO along the way, right? Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be that much FOMO kind of on the Forex market, maybe a little bit more on the indices or in crypto, trying to catch that bottom, because in theory that those assets should continue to go higher, while in FX it's kind of cycles. It can go up and down, and we are not really looking for any of the pairs on FX to just go to the moon and never come back. But yeah. But usually these are some key factors that I try to look at, especially more focused even more on the FX. Then the importance of the news, actually, I think it plays a major factor. And by this I mean that when you have those important news, the Fed, the FOMC, the ECB, like NFP nowadays not so much. So in this case it would be kind of CPI. So expect maybe that beginning of a trend or the reversal after the release of those news, and then to continue for the days ahead, and then maybe the next timing of the new cycle, it's going to start when again we have that one of those news again, right? So actually you could actually study that and actually see even kind of the cycles. Okay, anytime you have a Fed meeting, okay, this is where price was and this is where it went to until the next one. So like find the cycles even between the Fed, the FOMC meetings, and you'll see that most of the times maybe you could even just kind of trade I think it was a few years ago. Almost if you were just opening positions on the days of the day after of the FOMC, and then kind of forget about it and come back next month or 1 month and a half afterwards when you had that meeting, and there you go. You can close it and you can reverse it, and you'll be just trading kind of once a month, and kind of it will be kind of tops and bottoms in the market. Yeah. So those are actually quite nice as well. And one of the reasons for that is usually you see price getting in alignment as well before those big news. If you see the correlation, maybe the Aussie dollar, pound dollar, or like euro dollar, even USD CAD, they kind of get aligned with the dollar kind of, and then you see those reversals happening at around the same time. And then when like a few days afterwards, of course, there's going to be some new release on the in Australia that's going to move Australia dollar away from the correlation with the dollar index. Then everyone's going to do his own thing, and then until then, there's another alignment just before again one of those news. Just something that you can actually pay attention to if you do look at these correlations in the market. And then aside from that, of course, is the type of price action that you can see, right? Maybe there's going to be some indicators that you can see happening before those big reversals, right? Like, for example, this one, this wedge in here, wedge pattern, right? A chaining like that. Like after this first, second, kind of the third touch, right? Usually, I think, I don't even know how to draw this now. After that expansion, kind of the third touch can be actually a really nice zone to look for that reversal until where, maybe even until the beginning of this low. That can usually, I think that's a way to trade this pattern as well. You can have it like this. Maybe this could be the first target, and then if you break it, usually kind of the retest of this one can be a really good target to look for. And of course, if you're talking about a weekly, you can see this pattern on a weekly time frame. Of course, maybe this can take a few days, a few weeks, or even a month to complete, right? And just like that, you have that kind of big reversal in the market. In this case, could be maybe a month, something like that, right? This is maybe one of the patterns. Another one could be, what other patterns can you see? Maybe double top, that could be as well. Maybe you have even this one aligned with an important level of resistance. That could be even another extra indicator in there. So there are those kind of patterns that you can try to look for anticipation. Maybe if you look at the Bollinger Bands, maybe it's going to be overextended to the upside in this case. Maybe you can expect some move to the downside just to go back to the medium, to the level. Maybe on RSI is going to be overbought. Maybe exactly this pattern. If I even draw in here RSI, actually let me try to do that. Maybe you're going to see that is in divergence in there. So let me just try the RSI in here. Yeah, go away. There is already some divergence. We did had a higher high in there, but we definitely had a lower high in there, right? So there's already that divergence. Maybe you can wait for this crossover, and you'll have that. So yeah, finding these patterns can be interesting to maybe for the anticipation, and then of course there's maybe some other patterns that you can pay attention to in order to as a confirmation, right? So one thing is when you are waiting for the confirmation, maybe this can be kind of the distribution zone. Kind of you have maybe accumulation down from the bottom and this distribution, and then price goes something like that. Maybe wrong timing to start looking is maybe in here. Wait for, so you can try it. But yeah, like the same way that we talked, I think it was on Friday when you talked about one of the trades from, I don't remember now his name, that you can try to go kind of look for longs initially, then, and this is going to be painful. Most likely, maybe you can even get stopped out, because then price still is going to make some some move a little bit further down, and then yes, and then you have this second phase on when we are already kind of turning to the upside, right? So this actually kind of somewhere in here is actually maybe the best timing to try to look for that reversal. We don't really need to catch the falling knife, don't really need to catch the top or the bottom. We can actually maybe wait for this to turn. Maybe, for example, again, waiting for maybe a trend line to be broken, maybe waiting for that confirmation of a moving average to be broken, and then you can have that extra confirmation to look for the reversal. For example, you could maybe have that head and shoulder pattern, right? Head and shoulder is a nice pattern as well to look for reversal setups. You can actually have something like that. Another one, maybe wait for some crossover in here on the RSI, or any other indicator that you may look at. So there are those two timings. One thing is predicting, is analysis, and then you can wait actually for another confirmation or extra confirmation, maybe even just a break of a low. So of course, in this case, wait for that low to be broken, or you can have maybe another trend line a little bit more aggressive in the war time frame. Don't really need to be on the day and 4 hour, and you can have that extra confirmation in there. Any other patterns that maybe you might think about in terms of looking for as a confirmation? First, as a prediction that maybe price can be overextended, or that maybe about to reverse, and then maybe as a confirmation to look for the entry. Any patterns that maybe just technicals? No. Okay. Of course, one of the last things, or even something to consider straight away, is as you are seeing the approach, you can see that price is already kind of showing some weakness, something that I've been mentioning quite a few times as well, kind of creating that compression, showing that price is giving up a little bit. We even created this double top, which is kind of perfect. So yeah, what kind of actually PI do you like to see just before the reversal, right? How do you usually see price behaving before a turn? Is price just shooting straight to that level and reversing? Most likely
No,
not.
price compress before the reversal.
Yeah, right. I kind of agree with you. Like until we kind of have that showing some weakness from, in this case, the buyers, until kind of seeing the sellers getting a little bit, joining a little bit or starting to enter the market, until we see that those sellers entering like that, it's going to be hard for them to see a bigger reversal, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to even fill out their orders that they want to. For example, as Steven shared with me today, a document that, where is it? 1 second. Saying that, can I just move this here? Yeah, right. So yeah, the commitment of traders report, right, that shows that smart money commercial traders have amassed one of the biggest short positions in the USD in the last 3 years. That was kind of last week or something like that. It has been happening during the last few days, right? So they cannot do it just at once. Like, otherwise, they will just completely push price to the downside without getting completely filled on all their orders. They need to do it slowly. And that's usually how you can see price starting to compress, right? Is when they start slowly injecting their orders, they start looking for those sells, to in this case open sell positions, and then price is going to fight it, and they are just again whatever level they find that it's a good zone to start selling it. They'll put another sell orders in there until eventually they're even okay if they have a little bit of a drawdown. The fake out can still happen. Yeah, I think exactly it even says in here, right? It is also possible to the DXY that could register a false breakout, as has happened in so many markets in the past many months. But yeah, right. In false breakout, it's just a downside reversal, so it's a bridge below the 2017, 20 resistance, right? That's the resistance that we have been talking about. That would be this resistance in here, with this previous high in here, right, at around 103. So maybe that was the level that those institutionals that were looking for the sell on the index. Maybe that's the level, the new level that they are looking for, the retest of this previous high in there.
Don't see your screen.
Sorry, Ursi, I can't hear you.
We don't see your screen.
I still can't hear you. And it's my problem. Can you speak?
Yes, we don't see your
Okay.
screen.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you now.
We don't see your screen. I don't know if you are sharing a screen with us.
You cannot see my screen.
No.
Yeah, I can see it. The dot,
Yes?
yeah.
But
I
what
can
about
see it.
the
Yeah,
image
yeah,
that I'm showing from Slack? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Rosil? Can you see me? Can you see my monitor?
I don't see your monitor. No.
Do you want to?
Can you see it, Ari?
Can you come back again?
Yes, I see.
Maybe just rejoin the session, Rosil. Maybe go out and rejoin. Maybe even
Okay.
come back. Okay.
I will do that.
Okay. Maybe it's going to be fixed. Yeah. So apparently those institutionals, maybe they're looking for that 103 level, retesting of these previous highs, 104. And that one could be a big reversal. However, this big move has been really fast. Again, another way to try to find out in terms of alignment and everything is, of course, try to see what is this reacting to on the left side, right? Does it even make sense for price to react from that level to look for the trace? So price literally just touched somewhere inside there. It's not really exactly on my 110 level that I mentioned before, that I've been talking about on the dollar index. It got close, but it hasn't really taken that high yet, maybe for the future. But yeah, it got quite to the extreme at 109, and now it's literally already, just 2 days already about to close below, maybe close below the previous weekly candle, which is kind of a strong signal to the downside, right? So let's see what they're going to do. So yeah, me personally, something that I like to see is, as I mentioned, is exactly that, right? So I've been talking about that as well, even when I was asked about is this the low or the bottom on the crypto or on the indices. I definitely like to see that compression, right? In terms of starting to see some weakness. And then one thing that I love to see is exactly this creation of a double top or a double bottom if you are about to reverse to the upside, right? So creating this is it's something that it's almost a must. Before a reversal, it's really nice to see that happening because everyone's going to be selling kind of in there, so it's a good zone to maybe wait for that fake out. And another situation that I also like to see, so aside from kind of that compression, is then that's actually a perfect scenario here. So it's that compression that you can have, then you do create that double top, and it's even better when from this double top we actually even break a lows, which is exactly what happened here with this move during the CPI. We actually even broke this first level of structure in here, this support zone, which was managing to hold price up, almost managing to hold price up almost in here as well. We did broke below already, but we didn't really close below, went up, and this is a clear break to the downside of now this is another situation to use trend lines. Yeah, usually it's quite nice to see price trend respecting from here, but this for me actually it was already a break to the downside. So this is actually something amazing that I like to see as well. First confirmation aside from already the weakness, and then yes, then the final move to take the guys from stop loss from these guys. It's something that I like to see as well. And usually this last move up in here, it's created like it's fast. It's not a slow move. Usually we see it kind of a strong bullish candle in here. It looks like it has a lot of momentum. That price is actually about to just continue to the upside from here. But actually it's just it's a clear fake out. It's a false breakout, right? In this scenario. Then price, yeah, especially if price then breaks actually this low, this is kind of time to definitely start to look for sales. After wait for that, maybe even that last kind of demand zone that push price to the upside. If you even wait for the break of that one, maybe it could be this one in this case. We have this strong move up from this demand, price still goes down, respect it for a while, and as soon as you have kind of this break in here, you can have maybe even some trend line in there. That's a really good confirmation to. You can even maybe have this trend line as well. It's a really good confirmation or a trigger to start looking for sales. You can be safe and just maybe place a stop loss in there. Maybe that's too big, so maybe find maybe some structure somewhere in here and try to place maybe your stop loss a little bit more in there. But be careful with that. But yeah, this actually it's a really nice movement. So kind of in this case on our index, and if you take a look on the euro dollar as well, and even pound dollar, Aussie dollar as well, they kind of moved in the same way just before this reversal. And if you start seeing those major pairs behaving in a similar way and reacting to key zones as well, important levels of support resistance, for example, and that's an extra confirmation that we may be close to that bigger reversal. Another situation that I also pay attention to, okay, this move was made on Thursday. This was the CPI. Then you had that move on Thursday. And then on Friday, for example, something different from the week before on euro dollar. This Friday, price actually managed to stay within this level of structure in here, kind of this middle one. Price didn't really, let's split it in two. Let's pretend that we have this zone in here at the extreme, right, close to the highs, and then maybe we have this one kind of in here in the middle, kind of close to this level of structure, close to this, aligned with this highs. And after the break, by seeing that price actually still managed to be respected with this zone in the middle, it just gives even more confirmation. If price had straight away maybe gone close to this extreme, it would automatically kind of make this extreme weaker. So maybe this was still not the timing. So I like actually to see this middle range to be respected in the first instance, and to actually see some momentum that in this case it would be between the battle of the sellers and the buyers, and the sellers would manage to actually hold the buyers down from here instead of going so close to the extreme in there. So if you think in terms of a battle between buyers and sellers, this will be the first level of resistance. This could be the second one, and it's good to see them managing to hold the buyers at this at the zone of resistance farther away from the extreme. Because if kind of the buyers would go above this level, kind of it's another battle that the buyers would have won. And in this case, that didn't happen. And something like that, I was actually already expecting Monday to open in the same direction of the last Friday. That's another behavior that you can see. Usually, if you see that momentum happening on the Friday, expect kind of Monday to just follow through whatever happened, whatever direction price moved in on the last Friday. Any questions, any comments that maybe you want to make?
Okay, you say that, and you said this before, that on Monday usually follow the same direction that last week, but on Tuesday, do you expect a reversal, or do you expect, or is not really necessary?
That first of all, it's going to depend. So maybe where price closes. If maybe you can even do that study, but I think traditionally, if you think on the weekdays that usually may see some reversal, it will be mostly on Tuesdays or Wednesdays mornings, like around the one that open maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. That maybe can start kind of the beginning of a new week. But in this case, maybe you're in such a strong downtrend that maybe price will just carry on, and maybe price will just continue. And when I mean that on Mondays, usually we see price moving on the same direction, it's also like it needs to be actually a strong day on Friday, right? Price actually needs to kind of move into have some momentum. Like for example, after an NFP day, like we had an NFP on Friday, there is actually momentum in the market. You could see that price maybe reversed and it goes really strong into one direction. Most likely the next Monday is going to be a continuation to the move. You'll see that maybe during the Asian session, you're going to see a little bit of a range market. But if during the London session price actually opens and strongly into the direction of the same direction that price was moving on Friday, most likely are going to see that trend going until basically until the evening on that day. And then Tuesday, it's another story. Tuesday, it depends as well, maybe where price is. If price just wants to continue in the same direction, maybe it's going to just continue in the same direction. But yeah, usually Tuesday could be a day to look for reversals, or Wednesday as well. But it depends. Eventually, we're going to start to realize or to get used to see during the different weekdays. I would say that Monday and Friday they are the most characteristic, and then Tuesday to Thursday it's a different story. Monday is a little bit affected already with Friday's session, and Friday can be a little bit different because you're about to close as well. Maybe the rest of volatility that you see around after the London closes. It depends as well on the specific news that you have, even the day before on Thursday, or even if you have a big news event on Friday with the NFP, for example, or even CPI data, not this month, but the previous month was on Friday. It depends as well. But yeah, eventually we're going to realize how those patterns, even just by looking at the market on a regular basis, you're going to create the patterns in your own head, how usually we see price moving during the weekdays. But yes, today I was expecting that. As soon as I saw the London Open that was so strong, I was expecting some kind of retrace around still in the morning before the US and around the US Open, that price would eventually continue in the same direction of the London. That was actually kind of my game plan for today. Yeah. And if you are aware of that, you can maybe divide and start planning your day in that there, and like thinking about exactly that factor, and not be, for example, you missed the London Open, you missed maybe the strong move to the upside, or in this case to the downside on the dollar index. Maybe you are upset already because you missed it. And if you are aware that maybe there's going to be a new opportunity to rejoin the trends, maybe that's where your focus is going to be, instead of just beating yourself because you missed the first move, right? So yeah, or even if you by any chance that you are short from here, by any chance you start seeing the retrace kind of going into your direction, or on the way to manage your trades as well, if you haven't reached your target, and most like if you are expecting, or if you know that the probability is that the London during the US session, there's maybe a continuation on the same direction of the London, maybe you can manage your trades in a different way. But this is not every weekday. This is, in this case, specifically more for Mondays. At least from what I've seen. Any questions or comments?
No, I usually see on Monday the continuation of a Friday.
Yeah, me too. For example, this was last Friday. Second, no, this was CPI, right? The last Friday somewhere. Yeah, last Friday, I think it was somewhere in here. This, for example, in this last Friday, actually, I was kind of looking for the same. I was wondering that this could have happened as well. We had this big rejection from there. This was on the 8. Yeah, all this was Friday, right? Yeah, all this was Friday. All this moved on. But the reality is that we didn't really end up breaking. We did broke this one, but I was looking actually at this one. We did had a strong reversal to the, actually in this one was, yeah, let me actually just put on the daily candle. All right, we had basically this indecision, this dodgy candle in here, kind of indecision. We didn't really broke below the low on Friday. Didn't really manage to break below the low that was created on Friday, and there was some kind of slowness. If by any chance Monday, when the market opened, it actually had that move to downside like strong, I was actually maybe expecting for price then to have a similar maybe move in here, but we actually saw the opposite. We saw that price opened and opened moving into the same direction. So by the time that the London open, it was around here. We are actually already way higher. We didn't really continue to move to the downside kind of as it happened today. It was a little bit different. And I actually mentioned even these highs in here, even though kind of we may have a little bit, but not exactly. It was still not exactly as price has been creating. It's not exactly the same. At least what I like to see. I don't really like to see just price literally just kind of creating like this in reversal. I actually like to see a pause before the reversal. And you don't really have that pause in here. We have it in here. We don't really have it in here. And it's similar to on the euro. Actually, euro was one of the ones that I was looking at from last week. So euro, yeah, we did broke out those lows, right? Previous lows, and we had this strong reaction from here, and price basically opened or closed in here last Friday. And yeah, this is still not exactly the, I don't know if I managed to explain correctly, but for me, all this accumulation of lows in here is completely different from what we have in here. It's different. We still have the strong move down, like the same thing that happened in here on euro, just below the parity, just before the reversal. But this is a difference for me, at least in terms of how price moves. It's a completely different story comparing with this one. Kind of not enough lows close to the zone 2 before the turn. And in this case, we didn't really even manage to break this high either. Price, when it was close by, it didn't really even manage to break this high, and then it closed, and then it opened the day after, not day after, on Monday, it happened and opened, and it started moving to the opposite. But if you start looking at those days, for example, there you go, right? So this was the previous CPI. It was Friday as well. So we had ECB, we had CPI, and we still have that strong momentum, right? And this is basically, there you go. This is Monday, and there you go. Price basically just goes, and it closes somewhere in here on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday maybe start having those slowly reversals. But yeah, another continuation. Just to it starts getting a little bit more compressed. So maybe on Friday you see a strong big candle. Maybe then you still see one strong candle as well, kind of maybe during the London Open, but then slowly what you could see, or if you even start thinking about possible reversals for Tuesday, start see some weakness, right? Start seeing these candles of some weeks up and down. Maybe if you even change the time frame, you can see that price actually starts compressing a little bit, even before where were we? Yeah, it starts compressing a little bit even before anything. And then yeah, then London Open happened in here, somewhere in here. It opens the market, it goes up a little bit, price goes down, it starts ranging. But again, different similar scenario. We have all these rows reversed. And yeah, so for example, if I was thinking about looking for reversals tomorrow, I would like to see from now on until the end of the session. For example, maybe this could be a good zone to look for, even the reversal. If I'm by any chance considering looking for sales in here or in here, I would like to see euro starts to compress maybe until the end of the day. Start maybe some kind of slowing down now. It's 4 p.m. so maybe until 8 p.m. like for the next 4 hours, slowly compressing, and then there's going to be the Asian session tomorrow, and then around the London Open, let's see what where price is and what's going to happen. Yeah, but that's mostly as well me as well that I look a lot for. My style of trading is more of a counter trend, so I'm mostly looking for reversals. If you are kind of the opposite, and if you are looking for continuations, Monday, for example, today is maybe a great day for you. Believe it or not, when you were saying that the pound has been really strong, the only trade I took, it was selling from here and close it in here. So basically selling from here and close it in here. That was the only trade I took today on pound. Like instead, I should maybe have looking for longs, but it's kind of what I look for. That's yeah, but that's the style, and then you're going to know yourself really well. You'll be self-aware exactly of what you like to see. And that's going to be your strength. Any comments? Any comments, guys? And then if you take a look at the pound, in terms of reversals as well, like pound, euro, and Aussie, right? So some key levels that I've been talking about for the last few weeks. This important level of previous support, fake out during that the strong move down during COVID. Respecting that level is basically where you have that low on the Aussie, right? And again, similar scenario, a lot of accumulation of lows, and then there you go, right? So we have been talking about that key zone of support resistance around 0.67 or 0.6689, and that was a key level that I've been talking, and that's kind of where price kind of reacted from there. And then it's a question of, okay, you don't really need to catch this the trade from here. This is not exactly the high probability zone to look for. This is risky. Maybe there's a way to catch the move from here, right? Maybe wait for that break of a high or a low, in this case a high, or break of a trend line, or in this case you have that moving average that crosses, and you have that your trigger to look for the long, right? Maybe there's kind of a head and shoulder pattern in here as well to look for that reversal. That's what you want to try to find. Yeah, how that big correlation between the pairs as well, it helps. At least that's what I try to look for. And then in terms of targets, right, try to see, okay, where is maybe a good zone to look for that price may want to go to, right? So maybe what is the next high that maybe it's going to be the first barrier to look for that can hold still price down, and maybe price it's just going to continue to the downside. This is not even the reversal yet, right? Is it maybe was it this one? Is it this one where we are now? Do you have maybe a trend line that you can maybe draw from here? Maybe if you had that trend line, maybe just saw that it was broken, right? Maybe broken somewhere in here. Is price going to go all the way until this high as the next zone? Maybe you have all this previous high in here as well. This previous level of support can be as resistance. In this case, it's already been broken as well, right? So where is the next zone that maybe we're going to see price going to? This is an important level of structure as well, I think. Maybe all these previous support in here. So is it going to be here, the next possible target for your wonks? This is higher time frame thinking, right? This is thinking in a kind of, if you are a swinger, if you are in the swing position, right? But you can also gather that information if you are a day trader. Maybe that's what you are going to be looking for. Maybe in this case, you're just going to be looking for wonks, maybe all the way until price may get to there. Of course, there's going to be some retraces along the way, but maybe that could be something that you can implement. Or if you are looking for wonks by any chance, maybe you're going to look for bigger targets, expecting that maybe price may have some room to move into your direction. And if by any chance, if you're looking for sales, maybe be careful, be more conservative with your targets. So even if you don't really trade higher time frame setups, it's also something that it's information that you can still use within your own scale of the trade. Any comments?
No, thank you.
Am I being clear, or is it just do you guys like understand what I mean, or any feedback at all? Does it make sense what I'm saying or not?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah, right. From the indices, for example, right? So even if you draw your Fibonacci level, and maybe price is actually at around that 50% level, let's pretend that it was not at 50%, it was maybe 40%, right? And even if you have this retrace, maybe now you're going to be looking, maybe as soon as price, for example, even if it gets closer to this trend line, if it gets closer to this previous level of this next level of resistance, maybe that's where we're going to be looking to still join the move. If you see it as a Fibonacci, that maybe that 50% level could be your target. Right. So eventually you have as well to start believing in your own analysis on what you usually see. 50% of 50% is actually a little bit underneath. It's actually still here. At least on the S&P. Maybe on the Nasdaq, it's actually touching the 50%.
The Nasdaq, we just got a little bit more than 50% fit, but that's the same price range level supply demand. Sorry.
This one is here, right? 50. Yeah, just we touched a little bit there, and then you see it somewhere in here, right? Yeah. For example, another situation could be this. Maybe a good example in here on the Nasdaq, right? So this is basically even on the monthly. You can even start from the monthly. This is basically a monthly. You can consider kind of a monthly demand in there. Maybe then you start looking a little bit more particular on the weekly, and maybe on the daily. It's more of a clear demand, right? So this is kind of a demand in here. So if price is reacting from a monthly demand, most likely is going to have a little bit of a reaction from there, right? A reaction maybe compared with the monthly chart, or at least the weekly chart, right? Maybe expect some reaction from a weekly demand to go to the next weekly supply, kind of, right? Maybe the same way that price moves from support resistance, they can easily go from this weekly demand to maybe the next weekly supply. It's maybe this one, right? So if you're considering even these higher time frame levels, like don't expect just a weekly demand to be respected in a 1 hour supply and then just continue to the downside, right? So like a weekly scale time frame, it's heavier, right? It's more important, than it is more impact than what you can see maybe on 1 hour or 30 minutes time frame, right? So it may make sense to see some kind of reaction, to see some kind of retracement for a few days, weeks. Then it depends also how fast it's going to move, how slow it's going to move. Then it depends if it's going to range or not, if it's going to be just straight there and it then may come back or not. That price does whatever it needs to do. But yeah, that in terms of managing expectations, that could be something interesting as well to pay attention to, right? If it is a weekly level, for example, if you are drawing a trend line and you are covering, and if you are touching it on like a bearish trend line, and you are looking at that on the weekly time frame, right? If price many chances actually about to respect that that bearish trend line when it's going up and it's respecting it, expect some real reaction from there, right? Not just a reaction visible on 1 hour time frame. Maybe some weekly reaction, maybe at least maybe 1-2 weeks of price going down after touching that that top on that bearish trend line, right? It just makes sense, like to look at that on the same scale that you are looking at. But then, of course, if you can fine tune, and then you can find on 1 hour time frame some bearish trend line that maybe can give you an entry opportunity to sell in that aspect, like in the imaginary setup that I'm talking about. Then you can have a great trade in there, a beautiful trade actually from there. If you can that combine similar to maybe what you was saying for the last webinar, the higher time frame with the lower time frame of looking for those high level setups. Yeah, can even take a look at crypto as well, right? Is it the low? Is it not the low? Right? Does it even make sense to think that maybe this can be an important low on BTC? Right?
Pedro, sorry, excuse me. I'm going to have to go. I'll see you in the morning, 8:30.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Steven, for
Have a good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Steve. Thank you. Yeah. For them, is this the low? Is this the lower low? I'm sorry. Is this the bottom and price is going to start shooting to the moon? Is this just the low, like a temporary low? Like what's your take in here? Forget even that is Bitcoin. Just looking at what you're looking at. Any takes, guys?
You're about to make another like 10% down back. It's like big steps downwards.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Looks like we are preparing for the next move down.
That's your view from where you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, daily. Yeah. It could be, right?
Look how nicely the steps are aligned on the way down. Have a move down, consolidate, near key level, support, another move down, and the same story again.
On the way out this in here.
Yeah. But the last, especially the last 2 steps was like beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But for now, yeah, is this a good level? For example, like were you actually like I've never enjoyed anything in here or in there, whatever. And I've been bearish for a long time until this was broken. And after see this, it was still not really interesting to me. But when I saw this price actually reacting somewhere from this level and where Ethereum also reacted from, yeah, I could see, even though if I'm still bearish, as I kind of said, like for me, price can still go, and I think and the economy is still going to go further down, like the indices, and as a consequence, crypto as well. However, it makes sense to me that maybe we are in the moment that you are going to see some reversals, temporary. Like I don't know if it's going to be a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, right? Is this the low? If you're asking me that, is this the bottom? And from here, price is ready to go to 68 again? I don't think so. I don't think this is This is the wall at the bottom on the. I don't think price is going to do this from here. Again, in this case, I'm also considering, if I was not even thinking about any macroeconomical state of how we are, maybe that I could see that maybe happening. But using that bias as well, I don't really think so. And it didn't even broke this high, right? Which is important. Did we broke or not? Nope, we didn't really broke this final high, which is actually kind of interesting to me. Because if you had broken this one, price could actually then go to the next one in here. Somewhere in there. Yep, somewhere in here. But you never broke that one yet, so it's good. It's good that you didn't. Because if you by any chance, if you're looking at any chart, if you are reading a book of price action, they'll tell you, after price creates support level, right? After price creates a support, it usually breaks, and then that support works as a resistance, and then it continues. If you see this happening, you wouldn't be surprised if this was a book, a picture from a book about technical analysis. Will this be a price movement that you'll be surprised to see? The question.
No, not really. It's actually expected. Retest of 25 or 30.
You're right. I do agree.
25 was a spike down.
Yeah, this one in here, right? Yeah, so this is just in terms of managing expectations, right? Of course, everyone that trades crypto, like the crypto space, they are way too euphoric. Everyone likes to call the bottom all the time. And maybe personally, I don't really think so. But at the same time, then you can start paying attention to, right? So yeah, this was an engulf up. So maybe then you can even start looking for longs, even if I'm expecting price to, in the future, next 3 months time, maybe to continue to downside. Meanwhile, from what we are seeing now, this was an engulf to the upside. Crypto, Ethereum, on the other hand, it was also an engulf to the upside from those highs, right? So this was an engulf in here, this one. This one in here, it was an engulf of these guys in here. And if you look at the daily, it's even more clear that we actually broke the high. I can actually delete this one now. Yeah, on the daily, you can see that this is the candle, and we broke it, right? We broke this high, broke the previous high on the daily, right? So this for me was an engulf to the upside. So I was already expecting price to go higher after the retrace. Question was from where? It actually reacted quite nicely from this zone in here. I was looking a little bit further down, but there you go. The confirmation was given in there. I'm still expecting Ethereum in the future to go further down. But in this scale, from what you are looking at now, yeah, it makes sense where this guy reacted from. It makes sense where Bitcoin actually reacted from as well, the low. So I could be easily looking for longs in there. And that's the elasticity that you need to create, like have your bias, but then pay attention as well to what price is doing, manage your expectation at the same time based on which time frame you're looking at, and find your next target. What will be kind of the next level? Is now the next level is going to be the retest of these 1,700. Maybe is there anything in here that may stop price? Maybe, right? Maybe that can be. Yep. At the same time, this for me is an engulf down. Okay. This low in here actually is an engulf to downside for me. Because we broke this one here. But that can be just for the future. Yep, we did broke this below this low, which opens the door for price to go to this 760, 700, below around the 800 level. Yeah, that's my take there on Ethereum actually. So that's why I'm still even expecting price to go further down in the future. But yeah, in terms of looking, and this can be used in the future. I don't really think that we have the bottom, but definitely when you are looking at the indices, maybe in 6 months' time, 1 year, it depends actually how long is going to be this bearish market, if you are indeed into recession or not. Usually, right, takes kind of, I don't know, 18 months, 24 months, like 1 year and a half, 2 years, or even 3 years. Yeah, it's something to pay attention to, how to time, how to look for those reversals, how to try to be aligned with the overall direction of the market. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Like, was it useful? Like something just to a few points to consider when you are looking for reversals.
Yeah, for me it's really useful because I don't really look for reversals because I never see the reversals. So I always try like trend continuation, but I have to reversals because usually I'm late for the trends. So
Sorry, there was a small gap in there. So yeah, you said that usually for continuation setups and
yes, I am always looking for continuation setups, but I also need to be aware of the reversals because sometimes I'm really late for the continuation. So sometimes it's better for me to wait until the reversal.
Because even as a continuation, as I mentioned before, there are, but even the way as this move on S&P occurred, right? This was still kind of from the 23rd until maybe 1st, 2nd of June. So even that could be a full week of a move to the upside, right? And it's a little bit similar to what I just mentioned before that happened on the dollar index. We do have kind of this double. We have that fast spike down, and then you have the turn, right? But maybe after you see this high being broken as a continuation, maybe this can already kind of be a continuation setup because we have a high that breaks previous high, so we have a higher high, and then we have a higher low or lower high, yeah, lower high, no, a higher low, yeah, Jesus. We have a higher low in here. Maybe after this, maybe we can have that continuation, right? Maybe that's our strategy in there, right? Maybe that's the way you try to capitalize on the move. It's maybe going to be that timing. In this case, you already have, this can be considered kind of a continuation already, even though it's just after a reversal. As long as you kind of still have space until at least kind of your next target, whatever that may be, this one or maybe that level of support resistance, it was somewhere in there. Yes, that could be a good scenario. But again, this kind of PA is what I try to find. And it's my focus actually on reversals, and you can see happening all over the place. It happened just reversed on the dollar index last week. It happened in here on the S&P. It happened before on the crypto space as well. So even across all the sectors, across the markets, you'll see how it works, how it kind of usually moves in terms of reversals, which is quite interesting actually, to be honest, how they capitalize on these moves. Right. And it usually takes a little bit of time. It's not just going to reverse immediately. It's going to take a little bit of time to reverse. Yeah, that's usually what we see. Yeah, that's my idea. that's one of my strengths. That's maybe something that you guys can benefit from. It is actually looking for reversals. If you look for continuation, just kind of flip my thought process and look for those continuations. Yeah, as I said before, even today looking at pound, definitely that is maybe better off to look for beautiful moving here. I mean, come on.
Hey, we're just reversing across the board. I think so. The pound is near a level. Dollar USD CAD just bounced off of support, resistance. I think it was
actually
also...
had this one. Oh my god.
You missed it?
I'm doing this webinar, man. I'm not looking at the market now.
Maybe we can do some live trading sometimes.
Yeah, after the break of this walk, I would have tried to look at this compression all the way here. After the break of this walk, could have been a trigger. Yeah, with a nice targeting here, all this compression, even maybe retesting this guy. Yeah, could be. For now, this one first. Yeah, the extreme, right? I had this trend line. I had this one in there. I didn't put it now. I had it before. Where price is reacted from.
You can still try to catch the dollar in the opposite direction.
A CAD?
Yeah, dollar CAD. I think.
Yeah, yes, but
I think it's
just
easier
fake
to
out,
read.
right? Just fake out this double Y actually that mentioned with the guy. Yeah, this was the target. This was the target from these sellers. At least to fake out this double O. It was the natural target. But there's that possibility that price can easily do that major reversal. This can happen. So maybe catching this move up could be nice. First, of course, this is the first target. Don't really expect price to go just to the moon. You have this literally this level in there. I'm looking a little bit farther down, just waiting for this kind of retest to that demand. Maybe big price now can it's reacting from here, right? This side. I didn't even really cut that. This guy.
Also, look, oil. I was waiting for it.
For this for here, right? Yeah, that's exactly where I told again another line that I drew it beforehand. I had clear support zone, right? That may work now as a resistance.
Also have divergence on 15-minute.
Yeah, it can be. I'll still be cautious a little bit with targets.
No, I'll take a small target. I think I'm taking it back to $100.
It looks nice, even from here. Yeah, 100, right? Just from this move. Yeah,
199.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't target nothing big for today.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the time. Like exactly, just what you mentioned is. It's a good summary actually of what I try to explain today, even with on the webinar. So in terms of timings, right? So you like know where we are, right? Even when I mentioned the Monday sessions, right? Know where price is going, like even on during that time, right? And manage your targets based on that expectation as well. Don't really always need to shoot to the moon. Go ahead.
On oil, I would say it has gone up like 4% today, so makes sense to have a small retrace at the end of the day, towards the last few hours, like small retrace.
Yeah, that can happen. Like this is also so. At least for me, the way I look at it, sometimes is okay. Key levels that I want to see reacting from, and then I pay attention as well a little bit to the timing of the day, right? Because sometimes I present at the key levels, maybe even retesting something like that. And if I see a high in here, I wouldn't still try to short it, because usually I've been burned so many times that I can actually see price still slowly creating new higher highs. And so I'm not expecting kind of what I want to say is I'm not expecting the reversal to occur today on the Monday, and maybe leave that for tomorrow, for Tuesday. It's just like the topic that Rossi, you asked the question, right? In terms of when maybe you should expect the reversal. So I would like to catch kind of the short straight away, but if price is retesting in there, I'll be cautious of trying even to look for that, because I could see today price is still creating like breaking new highs and just continuing a little bit. However, yes, we are indeed reacting from a good level. So yeah. So usually Mondays it will be kind of more aggressive on looking for those counter trends, conservative targets as well, not shooting exactly to the moon. And yeah, and tomorrow it's a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. Yeah, even Aussie, for example, Aussie, I'm not expecting price to stay here. I'm expecting price to actually break this triple top, kind of where it just reacted from. A chance even of doing this or even doing higher. Yeah, maybe even going higher. Actually, Aussie, it was one of the clearest one, just to test of this previous support resistance, and then continue to downside. I was about to go short again on Aussie, but this kind, if this one broken this low, I would have gone short on the test, but he didn't broke the low, so I didn't got short. But yeah, this that's just how my brain works, of looking for reversals in a day that is completely moving and going longer, going to the upside.
I don't like Mondays like today. It's very quiet. There's no V shape, so there's no volatility really.
Yeah, it's typical. This is usually typical Monday. There was volatility, not maybe volatility, but there was strong moves straight away at the open, right? On the open, there was a good momentum to the upside when you had this pound euro dollar, when you have this strong move up with some momentum, and then expect the second one. Expect the second one. What is euro reacting actually? It just broke this high. A nice reaction from there then.
Maybe it's just an engulf.
Yeah, this guy is never went there. That's actually a nice reaction from. Yeah, it was still, yeah. Can you see even today? So price, this is 4 hour, right? The retrace, it was from reacting from this week that I noticed in there. Now another reaction from another week that was still fresh, because these two candles, they never really touched this week in here. If I just draw wicks in here, you see, and another reaction here. Believe me, wicks, they are amazing. This one today, just before the one that opened, another beautiful wick that was left behind during the Asian session. There you go, shoot to the moon. They are ready to go. Believe me, wicks, they are beautiful. They are beautiful. But yeah, live trading. Maybe we can start doing some sessions like that to be interesting. But yeah, when I'm doing these webinars, if there is I have another platform actually, that's the one I usually open trades on my left side. But if I'm just focused on the on the webinar, I'm not in the trading mode. I'm kind of in an analyst mode or something like that.
Yes, for me it's difficult to attend both of the things, trading and webinars, because maybe I can have two monitors, but I only have one brain. And
yeah, if you are in a learning kind of mindset, the mindset to start to learn, which is maybe the mindset that you have during the webinars, because for it to execute, it needs a really specific mindset to execute trades, unless you are so comfortable with your strategy and so on. But if you actually need a little bit of it depends if it is how do you say it? If it is rule based, if it is I forgot about the word. Discretionary, right? If it is discretionary trading, where we need to be focused, see the momentum, see different pairs, different correlations and stuff, you need to be really focused. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hope it was useful. Actually, this one is maybe one that can be saved for the future, for the 6 months time when maybe you are about to have that bigger reversals. Maybe we can start trying to find those patterns. But yeah, amazing. And honestly, if you pay attention to the timings of the news, CPIs, NFPs, and stuff, that's another great indication to maybe see reversals. Actually, maybe that would be a good exercise. Like see where when did this all happen? When did this high happen? When did this low happen? Maybe not that one. When did this high happen? Or this one, or maybe this one, this one, and just try to this one. Maybe try to see when actually some of them happen. Was it what kind of news were next to that? We're close to those levels. Like in here as well. I think this one was. I think this was Fed. I don't remember what happened in there. Yeah, it's interesting. Just pay attention to it. Go study highs and lows that may have taken like a few weeks to conclude, and see around what kind of period of time, what kind of news it was close by to make that move happen. For example, on Euro, I know that like even looking at the ECB press conference, this was ECB. So the last move to downside was ECB. This one, 31st of March, I don't remember what was in there. This one, October, I remember this was ECB press conference again. Move down. Yeah, I really don't remember what happened 31st of March. Was it war or no? War was before that. There was maybe some big news as well going on in there. Yeah, 31st, 1st, and 4th. So this was a Thursday as well. So maybe it was another ECB press conference in there. This one, or this one in here, kind of close by. Maybe it was another news. So there you go, right? If you just trade the ECB press conference, you have to catch the sell, maybe catch that sell. And here as well, I remember it was as well some kind of big news around there. Actually not there, but here. And yeah, so that's it. What other information you can gather with that? This is exactly if you actually manage to catch the extreme. For example, this maybe it was a mistake that I did. Since I catch it to this one, it was ECB. Okay, if I'm aware that maybe anytime there's kind of an ECB press conference in this period of time, maybe let me hold the trade for longer. Maybe actually we are close to a big move to the downside. Let me hold it instead of just closing kind of the first target. Let me hold it and let me enjoy the ride. Right. So we have all those informations that you can gather. Okay, Rocio, thank you.